Hey everybody, I'm here in my garage putting on the new Cyclops Adventure Sports LED turn signal kit. It's I guess a multifunction turn signal kit because they also work as running lights on the front, and in the rear they act as additional running lights or alternately as additional brake lights, and they are dazzling. Let me walk you through a little bit of the installation here, because the instructions that come with the kit are like a 2-pager, and they're good while they tell you everything you need to do, but they don't exactly explain it if you're new to working on your bike. This actually is doable, I think, by almost anyone who has some decent tools and a little bit of aptitude. So I'll give you some tips here. What you have to do more or less is remove the headlight, remove the old turn signals, remove all the casings and deflections, and you also have to loosen these bars here, these support bars. So you remove the one up at the front here, remove one of the ones in the back, and just loosen the third one so that you can just slide it down out of the way. So they don't need to be pulled off completely. You also don't have to remove this whole housing. All you really have to do is, if you come around the side here, you have to remove all the fasteners up at the front here. There are just these little Torx headed screws, and then loosen the ones at the back. So I guess I should back up and say, to get the headlight out, when you've loosened all the fasteners on both sides, you just pry it apart a little bit like that, and you can bring it down. But before you get the headlight out, there is one tricky part, which is this. This sits like that to lock the headlight into the housing. And at the top here, you'll see these funny grooves. There's bumps right here that go into those grooves on this bracket. So this is sitting flush like that, and yet once you take out these screws here, it won't go anywhere yet. What you have to do is carefully send a flat screwdriver in between here and just gently pry it out. Hold it, and then on the other side pry it out, and the whole thing lets go once this back section clears that bump on both sides. So be really gentle, you don't want to break this. I'm betting it's very expensive and it's just plastic. The turn signal housings themselves, these little pieces here, there's only one screw holding them on. So you remove that and you can pull it out a little bit. And then what you're going to have to do is remove the nut on the inside that holds it into this housing. You won't be able to see it here, but you can do that with a 14mm wrench. When you install these though, you're going to have to modify one of your 14mm sockets. So I cut a notch in it here, and actually you need to go up further, which can be a little challenging, but I did this with a hacksaw. Because you're supposed to torque these nuts up to 25 foot-pounds, according to the instructions. A socket is a much easier way to do it, but you can sort of get in there with a wrench, even though it's awkward. You'll need a 17mm on the outside here. The way to tell the front from the rear set of lights is that the front will have a white wire on them here. Now I know this looks kind of confusing, but let me break it down a little bit. So this is one of the new turn signals. You can see it comes to this wire, and you just plug it into the connection for the old wiring. On this one, the right side is the green, the left side is the red. Now this white wire is actually your power wire for the daytime running lights on the blinkers. So what you're going to do is go into your ACC2 wire, which is the black and red one, and you're going to connect to that. They give you these posi tap things, and they work good. So this is connected to one end, and you put this black end on the wire. Like, let's say this was the wire I was going to connect to. You slip it on like this, and then this is connected to the wire that you're going to attach and splice into your wire. and you just thread it in like that. You go all the way till it stops. Obviously I don't want to do it on this one. On my bike I did something a little bit different because the dealership had already wired in my ACC2 wire into the auxiliary power port. That's ACC2 is wiring that is powered when the key switch is on. ACC1, which is the yellow and red wire, is powered all the time. I don't want these lights on all the time, like when the key is turned off. So what I did was I swapped the ACC1 wire with this one and my auxiliary power port. So now I've got only power to these lights when the key switch is on. And that's the right way to do it. Now the other part that you're going to have to do here is remove the flasher relay and put in this jumper. This comes with the kit, and the flasher relay is up in here. So this wiring harness used to be held up here, kind of like that. Now you can tell it's the flasher relay because it's a little black plastic box, and it's got these two wires coming to it, the blue and the yellow and the orange and the yellow. So once you've put the jumper on, you're going to tuck that back up inside here to make room for when you put your headlight back on. So once you've got the left and the right turn signal harnesses plugged in to your new turn signals, and you've attached your white wire to your ACC2, you can put everything back, try and tie it up nicely into place back here using some tie wraps, and then you can reinsert the headlight. This is the connector for the headlight, and it's easy to get off. You just push down on the little locking tab and pull it out. Are those not awesome? Like, those are going to show up really good. I really like these. I've been wanting these for a while on my bike. Now let's look at the rear lights, because they're a little bit different. Alright, so here we are on the rear of the motorcycle, and you can see I've already got the rear lights installed as well. And these ones are way easier, because all you have to do is remove this piece underneath here. This cover is just held on with a couple of screws in the middle, right up in here. So you just undo the screws and you have access. And you can just get on your 14mm nut here, your 17 on the outside, undo this, pull it out, and then the wiring, as you can see, goes up into this rubber seal and pops up at the top. So here they are here. The factory harnesses are the red and the green, and I believe the red is the left side in the back here. So you just plug in your new turn signal lights into the existing harness after you remove the old ones. And then this gets a little bit trickier. You have to get power. So this is what comes with the kit. Same idea as the front. This is where you get your power for your running lights. But in this case, you have the option. You can either just find the ACC2 wire, which on my bike here is, again, black and red. So you could just plug in there and your lights would just be lit up red all the time. They would be the same as running lights. But the way Cyclops designed them, what you can do is attach this red wire instead to this white with the green stripe wire here. You can see I've used the posi tap here because it's kind of difficult to splice in at this point. So this wiring harness just has electrical tape on it. So just cut open the electrical tape, posi tap in on the wire you want, and then you can wrap it back up with more electrical tape. But what this does is this white wire with the green stripe is the brake light. So when you hit your brake, it sends the power down that wire, and it makes your tail light brighter to show you're braking. Well, if you hook that up to your turn signals, let me show you what that looks like when you brake. When I turn the bike on, nothing happens, unlike the front, which flash and light up. But look at when I hit the brake pedal. Tell me that won't get someone's attention. And that is what I really wanted out of this kit, is more visibility. Incidentally, pro tip, you can use your seat to kneel on when you're working back here. Works really nice. So yeah, now I just got to put everything back together, tape up my harnesses, and this install will be complete. Then I can go out and hit the road, test out this new light system, which looks super sharp. So I'll let you know how it goes throughout the summer.